A man accused of causing a crash in Clay County that killed 5 people faced a judge today. What family members of the victim said after that hearing.
A Lexington woman is pleading with thieves to bring something back that meant a lot to her.
Could hackers gain access to the national power grid? WKYT looks at what's being done to protect electricity.
This is WKYT News at 6.
Good evening to you. He is accused of killing 5 people, including an unborn child, in a crash a week before Christmas. And today, a Clay County judge decided a grand jury should hear the case.
Police have charged Jason Gibson with 4 counts of murder and fetal homicide. They say he was driving under the influence before the crash on the Hal Rogers Parkway. Today, our Phil Pendleton talked to some of the victims' family members. It's our top story at 6.
Be seated. Court is now in session.
The Clay County District Court docket was full Monday morning, but only one case that lasted just minutes was on the minds of several families that packed the chamber.
I just want to see justice served for my family.
Chastity Collett's mother, Charlene Lewis, was killed on December 18th. Police say 40-year-old Jason Gibson is to blame because they say he was driving under the influence of several different drugs. Lewis was in the car that Gibson hit along with Judy Pennington Adams, Tiffany Williams, and her son Kyson. Williams was due this month with a baby boy.
They don't deserve to be laying in the ground while he is sitting in a jail cell somewhere.
Waive the case on to the grand jury.
There was no police testimony, and the judge did not hear more about the allegations against Gibson. His attorney simply waived the case to the grand jury, which will now hear the evidence that Gibson drove while high and crashed into the victim's car. He was the only survivor.
If you're going to get high, don't get in a vehicle. I mean, that's just it. Do not take the chance on going and killing somebody.
The crash happened a week before Christmas, a holiday season that relatives say had a much darker tone this year.
Christmas was terrible. There was no Christmas.
Grand jury could return an indictment against Gibson within a month. In Clay County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
And other relatives of the victim said that they want justice so another family member does not have to go through what they've gone through. They also said they hope people will think before driving under the influence.
A man charged with one of the 2 murders in Lexington over the holiday weekend was also in court today. Lexington police say 25-year-old Donald Roark Jr. shot 28-year-old Cory White early yesterday morning outside an apartment complex on Red Mile Road. As Hillary Thornton tells us, White's family was in the courtroom today when Roark was arraigned.
To realize that I'm not going to see him, it's hard because Cory had a very good heart. And he was a very sweet person, and he did not deserve this.
On Sunday morning, only 3 days into the new year, 28-year-old Cory White became Lexington's 2nd murder victim of 2016 after he was found with a gunshot wound to the chest in the parking lot of University Trails Apartments.
I'm gonna miss him. It's my baby. Even though he's a grown man, he's my baby still.
White's death coming about 48 hours after 28-year-old Joseph McDowell was shot and killed just hours into the new year. While police are still looking for a shooter in that case, they quickly arrested 25-year-old Donald Roark Jr. for White's death. Roark entering a not guilty plea Monday in court.
I also feel sorry for that boy's parents too, because they losing a son too.
White's family says he did not live there at that apartment complex where he was found, and they say the man now accused of killing him is someone he called a friend.
They were friends. They were friends.
Sister right here.
It's a lot of young men, black men, playing with guns. I don't know why they think they have to pack guns. They were friends. They were friends.
And I know he's hurting too, but they shouldn't have had the gun. The gun shouldn't have been pointing at nobody.
In Lexington, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
The judge did not set a bond for Roark. He is scheduled back in court a week from today.
It's something we have not seen much of in Kentucky so far this winter, but today some snow falling across parts of the state, and it caused a few problems in the eastern parts of Kentucky. Chelsea sent us this eyewitness picture showing a crash on a snow-covered road on Slade Hill over in Wolfe County. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey shows us what he's tracking on the First Alert Defender. And Chris, in that picture, a decent amount on the road.
Yeah, it looks like we're out on the Mountain Parkway there into Wolfe County. And that is a part of the area that did pick up on one of those quick hit and run snow squalls that put down a quick half-inch of snow in just a short amount of time. Had some also issues around the Bath County area on 64 a little earlier today as well. What we're left with now, the cold temperatures that are going back below the freezing mark. So if you're out this evening, you get under one of those snow showers, it may briefly coat roads yet again. Wind chills are down into the mid-20s. If you are out, temperatures quickly drop toward the low 20s second half of the evening. Anyone fair game for a snow shower or two. Look at the little increase in snow showers that we're now finding to the west of the downtown Lexington area. We'll start you out around Perryville into Boyle County. Northward we go toward the BG Parkway and into parts of Franklin County. Woodford County, too, getting in on some of those. Can coat the roads in a quick fashion. Then they kind of move on their merry way toward the east and southeast. All of this will begin to die out over the next few hours. Still, though, we are tracking more in the way of those flurries over the next few hours. When I come back here in about 10 minutes, we're going to talk about the frigid night that follows this up and more in the way of winter weather showing up in the 7-day forecast, guys.
Thanks, Chris. The Salvation Army in Lexington is asking for donations of coats and other winter weather clothes. Volunteers say they expect more people coming in asking for coats as the cold weather sets in. They say that every donation goes a long way.
It's important to have those thermals, things to keep you warm, especially in children. You know, you need those warm socks and shoes that, you know, some people they're just not able to afford. So we want to be able to help give them those.
The Salvation Army's donation center is on West Main Street in Lexington. Whatever you donate will be given to people who need it free of charge. The new year is off to a rough start for some people in one Lexington neighborhood. They say that some thieves broke into their cars.
The break-ins happened over the weekend along Highland Drive off East Loudon. One of the victims says the thieves stole something that means a lot to her. Sean Moody has the story, new at 6.
Some people in the Highland Drive area woke up to a shock yesterday morning.
It's just heartbreaking, it really is.
Kelly King's husband found their car just ransacked.
I took an iPad, took a TV, took my daughter's iPhone, money, ammo. We had bullets and stuff in it. Well, the dash, they tore all the sides of it up really bad. Tore up the sun visors, tore the top of it out. I mean, they just destroyed the vehicle, honestly.
Kelly said this was the third car break-in for her in the past 10 years here, and she's afraid thieves could eventually target her house.
It scares me. I have a 20-month-old, and my daughter, she's 14, and it scares me to death, to be honest.
Kelly's vehicle was just torn apart here on the side of the road. Another woman in the area said these thieves took something deeply personal to her.
The break-in's bad enough, but what they took, you know, it's the sentimentality of it, you know, that's what's got me right now. January 26th will be the year that my husband passed away.
Robin Ward's brother-in-law made a special wooden box to hold his ashes. She hadn't put the ashes in yet, but the box was in the car. It's gone.
Just bring my stuff back and I won't say a word, you know, just let me have my things back. That's more to me than anything.
In Lexington, Sean Moody, WKYT.
Kelly King said that the thief left a screwdriver in her car. She is hoping that police can find some fingerprints. New tonight, we are learning more about an unusual arrest outside the Laurel County Detention Center. The Laurel County Sheriff's Office says 50-year-old Kimberly Wilder showed up at the jail last night trying to post bail for a family member, but jail workers say they noticed a strong odor of alcohol in Wilder, so they called deputies. When deputies arrived, they say they saw Wilder trying to getting into a car outside the jail. They say that they determined she was drunk. She's been charged with alcohol intoxication and having an open container of alcohol in that vehicle. New tonight, Kentucky American Water has sent notices to customers about a recent water treatment issue. Kentucky American says testing results from October of 2014 until July of 2015 showed water slightly exceeded the standard set for haliocetic acid. Kentucky American officials say the problem has since been fixed and it is not a threat to anyone.
It's not an emergency situation, but we did, because we exceeded a certain level of a contaminant that we monitor for, there was a requirement that we provide notification to customers.
Kentucky American says heavy rain during that time played a big role in the treatment issue.
A new investigation into the security of the national power grid found some alarming details. About a dozen times in the last decade, foreign hackers gained enough remote control to control the operations networks that keep America's lights on. WKYT's Miranda Combs takes a look at that.
Power stations are often surrounded by security fencing and guarded by round-the-clock patrols. But the real danger may not come from a physical attack on a facility, but through cyber attacks on the connected sites by hackers thousands of miles away.
We're seeing people looking for vulnerabilities, people scanning to see what types of openings they can find.
Inside the nation's largest power grid operator, cybersecurity experts keep watch for intruders 24/7. An Associated Press investigation found that the networks running the U.S. power grid remain vulnerable, despite repeated warnings by cybersecurity experts and increased efforts to stop the attacks.
We're still in this era where everyone believes it's secure by default. And it's not.
The Associated Press says that nearly a dozen times in the past decade, foreign hackers have gained remote access to networks that run the grid, which supplies power to the military, mass transit, businesses, and millions of Americans. While none of the intrusions resulted in the catastrophic blackouts lasting days or even weeks feared by the intelligence community, that possibility remains.
It's all real. It's all, there's lots of variables, lots of potentials that could happen.
Identifying the source of cyber attacks is notoriously difficult, but private firms have alleged that recent attacks launched against the U.S. power grid were carried out by hacking teams within Russia, China, and Iran, some with their government's support. Even the Islamic State terrorist group is trying to hack American power companies, according to the Department of Homeland Security.
We are not where we need to be, and we are very, very focused on getting to where we need to be.
Homeland Security officials say public and private cooperation is key in fighting cyber attacks.
Our ability to assist in the protection of cyber systems depends upon our receipt of information.
Security experts say the country's power system is aging and outdated, never built with network security in mind, and fixes often take way too long.
In the case of a large cyber attack on the U.S., we can't be calling up vendors and having them say, sorry, it's going to take us 8 months to get this patched.
But the experts believe hackers may have already infiltrated networks that control parts of the grid, even if they have not yet used that access to turn out the lights. Miranda Combs, WKYT.
A new research center was announced late last year with a grant from the U.S. Department of Energy to focus on solid solutions to upgrade the U.S. power grid. It has now become Kentucky's largest country music festival, and today we learn what's being planned for this year's Red, White, and Boom Music Festival in Lexington.
The annual event will still be at Whitaker Bank Ballpark, but this year it's been moved to Labor Day weekend, and it will be 3 days instead of 2. Red, White, and Boom is set for September 2nd through the 4th. This year's lineup includes Jason Aldean, Florida Georgia Line, and Casey Musgraves. 98 won the Bull. The Lexington Legends and Hardys made the announcement this morning.
It's been amazing. It's been one of the hardest things to kind of keep under wraps, but I mean, so much excitement, and now that it's out there to the public, we could not be more excited.
And more details are expected to be announced soon. We have more information about Red, White, and Boom on WKYT.com.